Hello, I'm Bunnery.
I'm Bread Mower.
And this is IFXtra. So what's everyone been doing this week? Have you had an exciting week? I've been kind of going to work, but I did go to the local golf club for lunch, which was quite nice. Because I've never, even though we walk past it all the time, don't we, in our little walks, never been in before. So yeah, took a couple of people in, had a little putt on the green, and then we had lunch. It was lovely.
I mean, you say we. I
oh,
wasn't
you didn't
there.
come? No. I was at work.
Yeah.
This is a work thing. What have you been doing this week?
Working.
Yeah.
As I said last week, just trying to get the last bit of a client project closed off and signed off and paid, hopefully, so that we can get back some time for doing interference things. I mean, we're at a point where I think we're pretty close to getting 2 things signed off and paid for. Good. So, you know, that makes money a little less of a worry. And then I've still got 1 thing on, but I'll have spare time, so I'll get back to interference. Yeah. So I haven't actually done anything. I'm doing planning. Yeah,
in your head.
Nothing's happening yet, but yeah, as soon as we've got some free time, we're going to crack on with that. Cool. And start getting some stuff done. I got plans. It'll be interesting, hopefully, and hopefully you'll like this stuff. Yeah. It'll be good. So yeah, sorry again. Bear with me, but you know we're getting there.
Okay, let's go and see who won this week's awards. Picture of the week this week goes to broccoli for the first signs of spring. I just love these snowdrops in the snow, and we've seen so many around here. It's just beautiful. It's nice to think that spring's just around the corner. Well done, broccoli.
My favourite description this week was Evil Houdini magically impregnates Goat Devil by dog on a skateboard. Yeah, it's one of those descriptions that just sounds completely crazy, but when you look at the picture, yeah, I mean, Evil Houdini, magical impregnation, Goat Devil, yeah, it covers everything. Nice work, dog on a skateboard.
Community pick of the week this week goes to Sludgelord for Teletubbies Rated R Edition. This looks like a very violent film with Teletubbies in. That's really scary. They used to be so cute, Sludgelord. Nice work, though. They were amazing.
Awesome stuff there, as always.
Now we're going to see what we were talking about last week in the forums. So last week in the forums I said, how well do you know your neighbours? I mean, we know them to say hello to, but and we take in parcels. We take them round and say, here's your parcel. But we don't really chat or visit or anything like that. Like we used to in the olden days, when I was little, we had neighbours next door. We called them Uncle Fred and Auntie Mary, even though they weren't even related. We played with their kids all the time, in and out of each other's house all the time. But that doesn't seem to happen so much these days, does it really?
Not really. I mean, as you say, like I say hello to the neighbours. And we have a home office here, so I'm always into taking parcels and things. But thinking about it, we don't really chat to them or anything. No. I speak more to like the bar crew at the local pub. When we go out for dinner or we're there for the quiz or something. Like we know their names and like have a little chat with them more than the neighbours. Maybe that's quite a British thing, you know. You know your bar staff more than you know your actual neighbours.
Ali Say's got a very interesting story, but it's so long, so I'll let you go and read that in the forum. But Mukluk Canuck said, oh, Bunnery, you made me think of a septuagenarian lady neighbour when I was a kid. We called her Grandma, and she continued to be Grandma until she passed at 99. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, wow.
And 9% said, I lived in the same house in New Orleans for 10 years, and I couldn't tell you who any of the neighbours were. I moved away last year to a little town, and now I can name every neighbour that touches my property and the ones across the street. People are always outside here and yell hello whenever they see you. It's a different environment here. That's quite nice, isn't it? Old time, village, and you can just know everybody.
I feel like, well, I always thought that was like a cultural differences thing in terms of countries. Like, that seems like a stereotypical US thing to me, but maybe it's just based on the size of the area you're in.
Yeah, maybe.
But I've never had that really.
No.
I think when I used to live in a block of flats, like apartments if you're in the US, I knew my direct neighbour, but I didn't know anyone else in the building.
You didn't even see them on the stairs or in the lift?
No. It's very, it's very weird. Like I know, like Goose lives in a flat and she knows her neighbour in terms of, oh, hey, I brought this parcel in for you.
Yeah,
but like
that's
they don't
it, yeah.
sort of interact in any way.
No.
And I feel like that's kind of normal here.
Yeah,
but,
I think
yeah,
it is. Really.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Just the way it is at the moment.
Lydia Love says, my grandparents bought the home I now live in 1936.
Wow.
Met a lot of the first neighbours. This neighbourhood was once a very bad ghetto, yet all the neighbours knew each other very well. Over the years, they cleaned it up for many to sell. I mean, you know, that's sort of like a nice thing about people kind of working together.
Yeah.
Although they continue to say, in my eyes, still a bit of a ghetto. Neighbours nowadays suck. I only know one neighbour. He's pretty decent. All the rest of renters, not homeowners, they're the worst. Times changed. Not for good. Not all for good.
I think we've got more kind of private, haven't we? Now we don't share things with neighbours, and I mean, we give our key to a friend who lives a few streets away, but I wouldn't give it to the neighbours. She has a key because she's a friend, so she has a key in case we get locked out. But yeah.
I mean, just to clarify, that's not a we don't trust them.
No,
it's just
don't know them that well.
Yeah. But I was going to make a really interesting point there. I forgot what it was. What did you just say?
About the giving key to somebody.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
I used to have a friend who said if he could ever change some things that happen in the world to have the biggest impact, it would be to remove I forget how he used to phrase it, the car, the telephone, and the TV or something, because those three things made the world so much smaller.
Isolate everyone.
And it's like we have lots of friends that we're close to, but they're all over the place. It's not like it used to be where
stayed in the same village, didn't they, for years?
And so the people you were exposed to, like, you know, a lot of you, you know, we've been talking to a lot of the interference community for years, you know, as long as we've been doing this nearly 13 years now. And some of you have been around for a lot of that time. And like, we know you really well, but you know, you're in different countries, you're all over the place and stuff. Previously, if you knew someone for 13 years, they'd be a neighbour. And so, you know, communication and transport has shrunk the world, so you're not as dependent on knowing your neighbours anymore.
No, you can know other people. Yeah.
He said it a lot more eloquently than that, and
quite drastic though, isn't it? Removing the car, the telephone.
No. It wasn't that we should do it. It was like the thing that would have the biggest effect. The thing that sort of changed the world the most. Right. Obviously, you know, these days internet rather than phone.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it was deep.
It is, isn't it? Okay, well, if you want to contribute to that, that's still in the forums there, in the general forums. And now we're going to go and see what we'll be doing next week in the forum games.
Let's challenge each other. To start the game, you say, in so many words, tell me how to, and players then write their answer in the word limit. Then they set a challenge for the next player. I will start. In 15 words, tell me how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
If you'd like to join in with that, then just head over to the Forum Games Forum. It's the pinned thread for the week, so you'll find it at the top of the thread list.
Awesome. Now don't forget, tomorrow night is quiz night. Zeitgeist. 5 rounds, 5 different topics.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this before, every Sunday night at 7 p.m. UK time, over on twitch.tv/interference, we run Zeitgeist, the Interference Quiz of the Week. It's a live interactive quiz stream where you're playing along against the rest of the audience, competing for points and places on the leaderboard. Each round's based on one of the week's drawings from Interference. Bunnery picks 5 of her favourite drawings that she's seen and uses them as you know, inspiration. So if we had a drawing of a seagull or, you know, a pair of seagulls, we might have a round on seabirds, seaside resorts, things with wings, things that steal your chips, that kind of stuff. It's not always quite as straightforward as it seems, but it's a lot of fun.
It is this week.
Okay, interesting. Go on then. Now you've said that, you're going to have to let us know who the featured artists are.
Okay, I can tell you the artists. Okay, we've got Loco Louie, Holy Fat One, Rosie Rose, Fennec Fox, and Luke 1203.
Okay.
Some good ones there.
I think some of them, maybe the first time you've picked their stuff. Okay. Cool. So we won't get to see what the actual drawings are until the night, but we'll show them, and then everyone can have a little guess as to what I think the topic's going to be before we start.
Okay.
So if you'd like to find out, you need to join us tomorrow, 7 p.m. UK. But what happened last week?
Last week we had a new winner. Ty won with 202, and then Goose and Calabita were both second on 200, and Callum was third with 196.
Yeah, so it was a bit different up at the top there.
It was, yeah.
But Ty was doing really well. They were like up there for most of the game, I think. Really,
I think they had one bad round, but then they sprang back at the end.
Yeah. It was good stuff. Very impressive.
Exciting too.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, that's all the news for now, isn't it? Okay, it just goes to say.
Yeah, if you're not already taking part in the game, then get involved. You can play on the web at playinterference.com or search for Interference in your app store and download the app for your device. You can also get social with us. We're on Twitter at PlayIFX, Facebook at PlayInterference, and patreon.com/interference if you want to give us a bit of monthly support for the ongoing maintenance of the game, building a new version of the website, which is going to get going soon, new version of apps. We want to add in new game modes and things, all kinds of stuff. Running the quiz and things like that as well. We really appreciate your support. In return, you get access to cool things like replays and interference. You get art start and recall game modes on there. You get all kinds of stuff there. You get a custom entrance shout out from Ava on the quiz as well if you're a quiz player.
That's brilliant. Okay, that's it for now. So we'll see you again next week.
Yep, have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.